Hello everyone, how's it going? This is the first installment of a new type of video that I'm going to be trying out. So I think it's going to be really fun, and I think you guys will like it. So it's going up on Tuesday, and this one is called Tall Tale Tuesday. Now, how this is going to work is I am going to tell you two stories. Both of them are going to be from my life, or about me, or something I was involved in. One of them is going to be true, and one of them is going to be a lie. Now, this is going to require a lot of audience participation, that's you guys, and your participation comes in the form of you commenting on Facebook, or YouTube, or however you want to support and be involved in this, on which one you think is true, and even discuss why. I plan on this being really fun, and the only rule is that if you are involved in the story, or you've heard me tell this story before, you are disqualified for that week, because I don't want you to ruin it for anyone else. So, the next week, next Tuesday, before I do the next installment of Tall Tale Tuesday, I will let you guys know which story was true and which one was false. And I might do something each week, like do a quick scroll of all the names of the people that guessed correctly, and trying to make it fun and worthwhile for people to be involved. So, that's what this is going to be about. So, welcome to this week's installment of Tall Tale Tuesday. I'm going to switch it up every single time. You're never going to know whether it was the first story or the second story that was true and which one was false, so I already thought of that. You can't get me that quick. So, I'm going to give you two stories, then I'm going to give some closing remarks, and you guys will have to wait until next week to hear which one was true and which one was false. So, I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Story number one. This was when I was in the 6th grade, and I was not always the most upstanding citizen, and I was actually kind of a jerk until I had my, I don't know what you would call it, until I decided to be a good person and stop being a jerk. So, but most of my bullying was peer pressure related, and I didn't do it that often, but it was usually because other people were trying to get me involved in bullying other people. And so I was in the 6th grade, and what we did to this person that we didn't like very much is that we waited for this person to go do something. They left their desk. I don't know if they went to the bathroom or what the deal was, but they got up, and we were doing some project that involved glue. Either that, or we had those desks that were desks, but they also had the desk flipped open, and there was a compartment there, and the seat was connected to the desk, and you couldn't get away from it. They were actually pretty cool. But we waited till they got up, and we took our Elmer's glue and decided that it would be hilarious to put glue on their seat and hope that they didn't notice it so that they would sit in it. So we waited for them to leave, got up, and I don't even remember what issue we had with this person, why we didn't like them, or why we were doing this. So we waited for them to get up, they left, we quietly snuck over to their seat, drew a smiley face in glue, and might have written something mean to that person in the hopes that if they did see it before they sat down in it, at least they would have to clean up some rude remark in glue. I can't remember. But I know that we drew a smiley face in glue on their seat, and somehow this person, unfortunately for them, did not look down before they sat down in their seat from getting back from whatever they were doing. So they definitely sat in the smiley face of glue that we drew in their seat. And I specifically remember the person, for some reason, not noticing that they had just sat down in glue. I guess because it wasn't a huge puddle of it, like we spaced it out for the drawing. They didn't notice it at first. So there was definitely some action going on about 15-20 minutes later, and we never got caught. They never found out who did it. The only bad thing is that I don't think the person ever realized that the glue that they sat in was in the form of a smiley face, so that artistic detail was a bit wasted. But, yeah, we were terrible people. So, that's the first tale, and I'll be right back for the second. Alright, so, story number 2. Same setting, same time, same era of my life, me being a jerk. But this time, it was revenge. We still had recess in the 6th grade, and we did group activities, games, every once in a while. And this one time we were doing kickball, which is a really fun game. I really liked it. And I was in one of the outfield positions, and which meant that for most of the time you were just watching because nobody ever really kicked it that far. The balls that we had didn't go very far, so the outfield positions were kind of useless, and you basically just sat there and picked daisies in the field. And there was this one girl, don't know her name, I remember what she looked like, but never really interacted with her much. I got some self-righteous indignation at her lack of focus on the game when everybody else was playing, and she had her own ball that she was playing with in the outfield, not really involved with what the other children were doing. And for some reason this made me very angry. And when she was messing around, she kicked the ball in my direction, and I think she expected me to kick it back and, you know, participate in her non-participation. And for some reason, like I said, I was angry about it. So I felt justified in my self-righteousness to pick up the ball and throw it over the fence down the hill so that she wouldn't be allowed to be distracted for the game that we weren't even really participating in because the outfield was pointless. She didn't like that very much. Not even a little bit. So she walked over. I was afraid of confrontation at the time, and I still am. So I didn't know what to do. I kind of froze up a little bit, and she exchanged harsh words with me, and then very rudely kicked me in the shin, and it hurt a lot. So I was not happy with her, because I, you know, was policing the 6th grade activity field, and she deserved to lose her ball because she wasn't focusing. Anyway, fast forward to about a week, and I was still holding on to the grudge, and we one of our big projects for the 6th grade class was that we had to write a story. And it was a lengthy story. It was like requirement like 10 pages, whatever, I can't remember, but I remember being overwhelmed by how long it had to be. And even in my mind I was like, you realize we're 6th graders, right? We're not novelists. Anyway, so the whole process, and it was a long drawn out process too, like we had to handwrite a rough draft out, and so I had to handwrite a rough draft out. Sorry, I got distracted by a Facebook notice that just popped up. We had to write a rough draft out by hand, and then we had to type it up, and then we had to go through and get all the typos out and that kind of stuff. We were on that first stage of handwriting and everything out, and it had been like a week since the kickball incident, and I was holding a grudge, still upset, and I guess glue was just my main form of vengeance at the time, because she got up and left and did something, and she was actually sitting close to me, much to my irksomeness, and so my choice of revenge was to, which wasn't very smart, by the way, because I was sitting next to her. Like, I don't know how people didn't catch on that it was me. She was a fair length into it, like at least 3 or 4 pages written, and I decided that my revenge was to glue the pages together of her progress that she had so far. And once again, she took a while in the bathroom or whatever she was doing, I can't remember, so the glue had time to, like, do all that kind of stuff and dry and just do what glue does to pages. And I was actually so, like, I did it out of anger, and then as soon as I did it, I had that oh crap moment. I actually did that, and I was like, I can't fix this, I can't take it back, and now like it's gonna happen, she's gonna see it, and now I'm gonna have to deal with it. and I'm going to have to try, because I'm the dude sitting next to her, I'm going to have to try and not look guilty. I'm going to have to look surprised and like, oh no, what happened to your papers? That's terrible. And I'm going to have to somehow convince the teacher that I didn't see who did it. And I don't even, like, I don't know if our teacher just didn't care that it happened or was just so frustrated with the shenanigans of 6th graders as a whole that he didn't want to investigate properly or what the deal was. But I got away with it. She came over, saw the papers, and I think she had anger issues because her first response was not sadness, it was anger. And she started screaming and yelling, and everybody was in an uproar. And I think part of the reason why I got away with it was just because she was unwilling to work with the teacher and figure out who was doing it. Like, she started screaming at the teacher too and flipping out, and he just got so frustrated that he didn't care anymore that she had been wronged, even though it was revenge. And so she basically had to start over, and I feel really bad about it. Because, I mean, 2 or 3 pages isn't that much, but as a 6th grader, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of cramped hand. So I feel really bad about that. That's my second tale. It's up for you guys to decide which one was true. Was it glued butt or glued papers? Which one was true? So, you guys decide. Go on Facebook where this is going to be posted and comment which one you think was true, or even just how terrible of a person I was in the 6th grade. And, you know, share it, like it, comment on it on Facebook, and if you have a YouTube profile, subscribe to my channel if you want to support, like it, comment on it there, and even if you're willing to sign up on YouTube and just for the sake of subscribing to my channel, that would be awesome because that supports me. And yeah, so let the fun begin. Let me know what you guys think, which one you think is true, and I will see you next week for the reveal on not Tongue Twister Tuesday, that's the wrong type of video, on Tall Tale Tuesday. I'll see you next week on Tall Tale Tuesday. See you then.